Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today we're going to be field testing the Tops Knives Pasayten Lite Traveler. I know that's kind of a big mouthful. We'll just call it the Lite Traveler for the rest of the review. This is an awesome, kind of designed after, what light travelers used to carry back, in probably 1800s, trappers and that kind of style of blade. Very unique. You can see that right away just in its kind of overall design and fit and finish. Very classic, super classic design. You just got to love the design on the Lite Traveler. I'll give you a couple basic specs when we begin to kind of get out here and begin to use this awesome little lightweight blade. So speaking of weight, it weighs in the knife itself at 7 ounces, and then the Kydex sheath is an extra 2. So you're looking at 9 ounces total carry weight. That's awesome for such a large blade that we're looking at here, with a cutting edge of 4 7/8 of the actual cutting edge, 4 7/8. So it's basically 5 inches of cutting surface that you're getting there, with 154 cm steel, great stainless steel with a high gray traction coating on it. It says high traction. It's smooth. It's super smooth, so it's not going to drag through the wood. So that's a plus, and it's holding up really well. I've already batoned with it and done a bunch of stuff, and you can see the finish is barely wearing off. Full flat grind, you gotta love that. Very wide blade there, really nice. Kind of a little bit of a buoy kind of clip design. It's not it doesn't have a unsharpened swedge up here. It's just nice and flat, good for batoning. But that's the kind of design there. Then you got your Mikado handle scales, full tank construction, obviously, and it is an 1/8 of an inch thick, which I'm really excited about, because that means it's going to slice with that full flat grind. An 1/8 of an inch thick, it's going to slice like crazy. So let's go ahead, begin to use the Lite Traveler by Tops Knives. Got some heavy duty nylon rope here. We'll see how this full flat grind goes through. 1/8 of an inch thick just makes it very easy, just designed to slice. That Lite Traveler, boom, goes right through this heavy duty nylon cord. Very easily, your Lite Traveler will be able to do that, no problem. You can see how well that thing is just shaving. So nice. Very, very ergonomic in my hand as well as I do that. Very easy to get some tinder going for your fire with this Pasayten Lite Traveler. Awesome. Alright, let's look at the handle here on this blade. It is machined micarta, which is real nice. You can see here it's got brass fittings that hold it into place. So you cannot remove the handle scales, which maybe for some of you is a downside. Doesn't bother me. I've never had an issue with a knife that didn't give me removable handle scales. And then a third hole back here for your lanyard. Real nice, a lot bigger handle than I was expecting, actually. I wear large size gloves and I got my work gloves on, and you can see there I got plenty of room to spare on that back end near that pommel. You got a really nice large flat pommel there, so you could definitely hammer in tent pegs and stakes and things like that, which is real nice. And then I just did that little pinky lanyard that we'll talk about a little bit later as we do the chopping. And I just really like the, I don't know, just really comfortable design in that handle. Really swoops down and swoops up. You can see there I can choke up, and it's almost like giving me a finger choil without an actual choil, because it's cut in halfway to the blade, and then I'm able to cut the knife, and I have control right up against the edge, but I'm not worried about accidentally cutting myself. And then I got jimping right here, which is kind of more aesthetic. I mean, it's better than nothing, but they give you little chunks of jimping along the whole back of the spine. Very comfortable though in my large size hands. Just very, very comfortable. No hot spots as we've been using this, chopping or whittling and carving in different grips and holds. Just really, 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 really comfortable. Nice little white liners in there that give it a little bit of a pop. Just very good overall, extremely ergonomic handle. You can back up on and chop, choke up on, and really get your fine carving and whittling in, or just kind of sit right in the middle and just do some of your, detailed carving and cutting or food prep or whatever. So a great micarta handle that they give us on the Pasayten Lite Traveler. And Tommy agrees with his little nose, sniffing it, and he gives his paw of approval on the handle of the Lite Traveler Pasayten by Tops. So at an 1/8 of an inch thick, it's not going to baton all that great. You know, a BK2 or an SE5 will definitely split better, but at 5 inches, you just really can't span a lot of wood. So it's perfect for this smaller, you know, kind of kindling, making some kindling for the fire type of batoning, and not really for, you know, big, huge, thick logs that you're trying to split open with your 5-inch blade. So an 1/8 of an inch thick, you can see there, it's doing a great job going through some of this wood without too much difficulty. Yeah, not too bad. Getting just little pieces for the fire. Very easy to do with your Lite Traveler. Nice. You can see that if I rock that little pinky lanyard right there, like I'm doing on the Lite Traveler, I can actually get a really good, you know, swinging action with the knife, and this bites in really well. For only being 7 ounces, that chops way better than I thought it would. You can see how deep that's biting in to this pine tree. Very, very nice. Just readjust your lanyard there a little bit, and the handle kind of has that, you know, hook back there a little bit, so you definitely can get some really good wrist action with your Lite Traveler. Nice. I am definitely having to exert, you know, energy because it is only 7 ounces, but I'm very impressed. You know how thin that blade is with that full flat grind. Just bites into that wood. Real nice. Sweet. There you go. Chopping through a pine tree with the Lite Traveler. Okay, let's look at the Kydex sheath that they give you on the Lite Traveler. This is a really nice Kydex sheath, a lot better than, you know, a lot of other models on the market. Loop over design, lots of lashing points along there. Then you got your belt clip that is 360 degrees rotatable, which is always really nice, and you can take that off if you so desire. There's just a little hex head driver in there. You just have to bend the loop over and you can take that off. You can easily attach, you know, BLADEHQ locks. If you kind of play with it a little bit, you can easily, you know, get those to lock on if you want to do that instead of the clip. I really like the clip. Fits on really well, lasts you a really long time. You just have to be careful it doesn't snag on anything and bend, but I think that's a really durable clip. I've used it on several tops blades and I really like it. Then it holds the blade snugly into place. You can see there it's not coming out. It doesn't click when you pull it in and out, and when I remove the knife, you can see there my hand's all the way back here because of how it fits in the Kydex. The Kydex holds and the retention is just around the handle here. There's really no click in because there's no thumb ramp and no real big aggressive, you know, finger guard down here to click and hold the retention on your Lite Traveler. So it just kind of holds in there around the handle, and then when you grab it, you kind of have to do that walk up again. Why it's not very good, you know, tactical blade, because then you'd have to walk up and stab, and then the traction just isn't quite there with that finger guard. We would have liked to see that a little bit more aggressive. Then maybe you could use that as a fighting knife. But you know, not bad at all. Holds very snugly into place. And again, no rattle. So overall, I'd say about an 8 out of 10 for the Kydex sheath. Definitely better than 90% of, you know, sheaths on the market. I would have liked to just have a little bit snugger click and maybe have the Kydex come up here, but just the design of the knife doesn't really allow you to do that. So overall, 8 out of 10 for the Kydex sheath on the Lite Traveler. Nice. You know, this is really where the Lite Traveler just shines, is in this type of work, you know, carving, cutting, whittling, you know, just wood processing, making a steak, making a spear, you know, something like that, you know, food prep, you know, cleaning some game. You know, that type of stuff is just really what this is designed for. Very ergonomic. My hand feels great in my hand as I'm using it. Just real smooth, great amount of belly for that slicing capability. And just carving and whittling. I mean, you can sit around a campsite and just do this all day long if you need to. And it's just going to feel good and do a great job doing it and hold an edge while you do it. So the Lite Traveler, this is really where, I mean, it just shines and just, you know, makes itself out to be an amazing purchase. You know, if this is what you need your knife to do, this type of task, amazing. Just real good, choked up real nice here, you know, kind of with that, not a choil, but, you know, kind of feels that way as you're holding the knife. I mean, just awesome. Alright everybody, so you've seen the Pasayten Lite Traveler from Tops Knives in action. I gotta say, this is a freaking home run, 10 out of 10. knife. I love using this thing for definitely, you know, your camp task, light bush use. This is totally a home run, particularly with that 154 cm steel, the 1/8 of an inch thick. For a lot of you guys, you're going to be wondering, okay, which one do you like better, this Lite Traveler or the Ontario Blackbird SK5? They are a little bit different, but they're both great knives. I would say they're both on par with each other. The fit and finish on this Tops knives is definitely going to be a little bit better, and you are getting a Kydex sheath, you know, versus the nylon one with the Blackbird SK5, but they both are the same thickness. You're both getting the same reach. 154 cm steel. So I would say either one just kind of depends on what you like in its design. They're both right on par with each other, but I gotta say, overall, this is a freaking awesome blade. It's not really popular, not a lot of people know about it. I would recommend picking it up. You can get it at Knife Works, you can get it on Top's website, and then there are a couple other places. You can usually get them for right around 110 to 115 bucks without too much trouble. So the Top's Lite Traveler Pasayten is a home run. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.